Welcome to the Gaming X. Today we're going to be taking a look at Marooners on the Xbox One. Now Marooners is the latest attempt at the party game genre. You'll find yourself taking on a mix of 25 multiplayer party games across tropical locations. While doing this, you're going to find yourself in control of some cute ass sprites, and I've got to say, I love the character design in this one. Now before we do jump into the rest of our review, if you like what you see today, then hit like below, leave us a comment with your thoughts, or even just hit subscribe. It's by far the easiest way to support this channel. Now with that being said, let's jump in and see if Marooners is worth adding to your collection. So if there's one area Marooners easily succeeds, it's the graphics. Tropical locations always ensure repetition, at least visually, is not felt. It allows for a nice variation of colours to constantly pop on screen. Then the sprites look fantastic, and they have some really unique animations to help them stand out. On top of this, you can equip your character with a choice of 60 great looking weapons, which you will unlock as you progress further into the game. Now they've done a great job of setting themselves apart from the genre. I do just wish though the developers had put more time into developing a storyline to go alongside the gameplay. It would have been awesome to see some cutscenes to reinforce the humour, and especially to grow the characters' personalities. It would have not only been the final piece of a great presentation, but it would have driven a higher level of investment in individual characters. Picking up a party game, everyone normally has their favourites, especially in the classics like Mario Party, but I never got that feeling with Marooners, and it never tried to gain that level of investment or for me to just care about the characters that much. Overall, it's a great looking presentation that fits into the genre nicely, but it does just enough to stand out and separate itself from the competition out there. So gameplay, and let's start with the controls. They're pretty much identical for every minigame you will compete in, so that's movement, jump and attack. It's designed to allow you to pick it up and play immediately, and here the controls do succeed. This is an essential factor when it comes to any party game, and it's great that they've managed to create variants while keeping the controls the same for every single minigame. While we're on the subject of minigames, Marooners brings 25 to the table. Now I can definitely say it's not the least I've ever seen, it's actually quite a good amount. Unfortunately though, it's the length of them, they're just too short. An hour in, and I can confidently say you will have experienced everything Marooners has to offer. It's a real mixed bag of quality as well here when it comes to these games, but I will say at least the majority are enjoyable, and none of them really enter the realm of frustrating. It never really feels like they took too many risks with the games themselves. They're pretty standard affair, and the problem there is, they're just not the most exciting. There is of course some highlights for me, don't get me wrong. There's a Bomberman-esque challenge, a combat arena where you try to push each other out, all while the platform crumbles beneath you. And then there's the Indiana Jones nod as you run away from an out of control boulder, and that's my personal favourite. Unfortunately, I'm just not sure how many others I would return to. It quickly starts to feel like a game I would pull out very occasionally with friends around a TV with beers in hand. The question is though, does that mean it's succeeded? Isn't that what we expect from a party game? For me, in some ways I would say yes, but the best in the genre have me going back frequently for snippets of excitement and quick action. Here they've just not added anything else, no board to move characters around, just jump in, 5 minutes to play, then jump out. They've got a few different game modes in here. One, obviously you can just play the minigame straight and choose which one you want to enter. Then there's one option, it's quite interesting, where it randomly switches between game modes. Now I will say it doesn't care if that first game is over, it's going to pause whatever previous game you was playing and move to the next one. Then it will start randomly switching between 5 or 6 minigames, intermittently cutting back. It's fun the first time you try it, but the enjoyment factor quickly wears thin. It is fantastic if you have little attention span, I will say that much, but it can be just frustrating as it keeps rotating. It just feels like you barely get any playtime. Finally, the game includes single player, which is honestly pointless in a game like this. Who really wants to sit around boasting about beating an AR player in a party game? Then there's local multiplayer. This is by far the best way to play. And then of course online multiplayer, which some may enjoy, but it wasn't really a selling point for me personally. I will say though it's good to see they've catered to everyone. Finally, we have the audio, and it's not bad at all, if not outstanding. When it comes to sound effects, it does the bare minimum we would expect, jump sounds and attack, with a few limited environmental effects. Then there's the soundtrack, and I enjoyed this one throughout. I won't be returning to listen to it anytime soon, don't get me wrong, without the gameplay, but when I was in the action with my friends, it did enough to build upon the intensity of the situation without going too far. It never took itself too seriously, and it never went out of character. Generally, the audio is half decent work, and it matches the rest of the game. It does the bare minimum to get by without adding anything new. So the final verdict, and Marooners makes its way to the Xbox One, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The Xbox has a limited catalogue when it comes to party games, so for some, this will be a perfect option. The graphics are cutesy, controls are tight, it has 4-player multiplayer, the environments are fun and vibrant, and then it has a decent amount of minigames as well. Unfortunately though, for me, the length of these did tarnish the game, and the lack of a storyline or progression held this one back. Additionally, the game modes were just too simplistic, with little excitement or fresh ideas to bring to the table. Yes, it does have a mode where it quickly transfers between minigames, but the thrill of this wears thin very quickly. I could maybe see myself getting this one out every 6 months, and that's about it, and for me, it's just not worth the investment. Now, before we do give our final verdict though, I do want to make one statement here, and I would say this would be a great choice for younger gamers out there, or in your family. It definitely has the appeal a preteen audience would adore. With that being said, the Gaming X awards Marooners a 6 out of 10. If you like what you saw today, remember to hit like below. Leave us a comment with your thoughts. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Why not tell us? And then finally, why not hit subscribe? That's by far the easiest and best way you can support this channel. With that being said, thanks for watching today, we really do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next Gaming X.